NASDAQ is 7% away from all-time highs seen in November of 2021. S&P is 6% away from all-time highs seen in January 2022. Seems a little crazy, but we're not that far away. Fed funds is trading above CPI for the first time since 2019. It's about 200 basis points above CPI right now. And the dollar's fallen for 6 straight days, down 4.5% over that time period, and biggest losing streak since July 2020. What do you make of all this so far? We're close to all-time highs. Fed funds rate is trading above CPI. Dollar is down big time. What do you guys make of all this?
Well, the dollar being down big time, it does not surprise us one bit. In fact, we were surprised how
long it took.
Yeah, I was surprised how long it took. The dollar being down is something that we thought about the whole time. Fed funds rate trading above CPI. That's interesting. I don't think about things like that.
Me neither. I just happened to see it last night.
We have been crazy bullish on bonds the last 2 weeks. I thought that 123 level they got down to was a joke. Right where they are now, about 126, 127, makes a lot more sense to me. And this is what we were kind of playing for. So bonds have really done kind of what we thought. The only thing that hasn't really worked yet is, we're still playing for the yield curve steepener, and it's had some good days and some bad days, but we're not making any money on the steepener trade yet. And I think that is, really one of the trades that's going to be one of the trades the second half of this year.
I think you're right on that, actually.
I mean, our contrarian plays have been pretty good, except for the stock market and the yield curve trade.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of dollar, what about oil? As a matter of fact, what time is it? Is oil up yet? Because I think it's going to be up today.
Oil is down 34 cents, but it's untradeable right now. The IV rank in there is like, it's in the single digits. Yeah, there's literally like the premium's so cheap in oil. We're premium sellers. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not cheap at the pump.
It's not, yeah. And I think range traders are in for some trouble. I mean, if for the past 3 months solid, you could trade this thing within a range between 75 and 65, and it's breaking out of a range right now. So I think a lot of those who've been shorting it here might be in some trouble. Watch out for that. Crypto's jumped yesterday on that crypto ruling about Ripple possibly not being a token, and that's why Coinbase jumped. You said this is going to be a big thing, Tom. Why is that?
It's huge. It's huge. This is the first time the SEC's basically been dikembe'd, and and it's great, and everybody in the whole world of finance wanted Gary Gensler to get a shoe up his butt, and he finally got one. So this was a great ruling by this judge. It's great for Ripple. It's great for all the altcoins. I mean, nobody's short them. So every single person I know is long an altcoin. Like, I don't care if it's Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, you name it. And this was we all had a good day yesterday in those altcoins. Everybody in the world's long them. Nobody's short them. So
Coinbase, the stock, is that up again?
Coinbase is
it's unchanged. It was down 2 earlier. It's unchanged right now.
Coinbase is too difficult. We got killed in Coinbase yesterday, but we got killed in Coinbase, but we had a great day in our cryptocurrency positions.
Yeah. 1 month realized vol in SPX is below 10 for the first time since Nov of 2021 as well. Also going back to where those highs in that.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with that. That's you're getting into risk reward here, which is like 2-3x to 1. I don't like it.
Yep. VIX is at 3-year lows. And speaking of what you just said, VVIX has been climbing. It's almost near 100. I noticed that yesterday. So obviously there's a lot of trading going on in VIX. Let's move to the next slide. A couple of charts. Move ahead, John, please. 5 of the top 20 call volume trades on Monday were in these auto names. Carvana, obviously Tesla.
I have not. I mean, I can't believe where Carvana's trading. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I can't believe NIO's back to $10 after being like a $3 stock.
Yeah.
We haven't traded Lucid, LCID in forever. I can't believe that's back to $7. Wasn't that like $1 or $2? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I've traded Rivian and Carvana in the last couple of days. I had some call calendars on Tesla, but I closed those out last week. But it's been interesting. So pay attention to these. They've been on the move more recently, and we'll see if it keeps up. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah, I mean, it was like literally the whole entire market on Monday. These were 5 of the top 20. It was just
Tesla has earnings July 19th next week, so it'll be one of the first ones.
That's true. Oh, I'm glad you said that too. There's an article out on the blog too. I think Mikey put an article out on Tesla earnings coming up, little preview. Instagram, that thing was the fastest to reach 100 million global users, although I'm hearing that people are backing off it. There's not as much time. Like there was about 20 minutes spent on it. Now it's like 10 minutes. So the newness is wearing off. But when you look, I mean, just recently, ChatGPT was the fastest app to do that. And now it's Threads. I haven't touched it. I haven't used it. Tom, I know you're varies in social media. You pick and choose. Are you messing with this thing?
Tony, where's Tasty on here? I can't. My eyes aren't that good.
I don't see it.
That's a good one.
Did you, Jamal? Did you just forget about us, or you didn't want to embarrass everybody?
Yeah, no. I think it's 90 months. I could only fit like 7 on there. I mean 8. So I just should have put.
Because I don't see Tasty on there. I'm a little disappointed.
Let's move to the next slide. Next slide. 2-year yields have dropped 50 basis points this week. It's been a crazy week. I mean, these things touched 5% last week, which was the high of the year, and they're faded again. I tend to believe that might be the high that we're going to see. What do you think?
Two-year yields have dropped 50 basis points this week. I felt that way the other day. I felt like, listen, we're long. We're expecting 2-year yields to come down dramatically, and they have, but 10 years have come down too. And so of the 30 years, so of the 5 years. So I would like to see, I think the 2 years have a lot more to drop relative, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yes, I would completely agree. Let's move to the next slide. I completely agree. Oh man, where's volatility going to take us next? VVIX to VIX ratio that we're looking at here. And right now it's closing in on 8, continues to go higher. It looks more and more like 2017. For some reason, we get a big precipitous drop. Somehow it gets to 2020 levels. But right now we're trending a whole lot higher. And this gets back to the idea of what we're talking about with VIX and realized vol and just how low volatility is in the market. So keep that in mind.
Hold on, what is this chart?
This is VVIX to VIX ratio.
VVIX got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why this thing is kind of moving a little bit higher right now. Last couple of days, VVIX has been spiking as volatility, as regular just VIX is fairly low.
Got it. Okay.
Let's move ahead. So yeah, when this thing gets higher, gets around 10, we get to those really low volatility levels we saw in 2017. Whether we'll get back that high, I don't know. We'll see. Market's pricing in a 25 basis point Fed hike, of course, for July, but basically it's like no moves for the rest of the year after that. I mean, there's like a 60% chance of no hike in September, and all these other months left out. So people are starting to feel like the Fed really might be done raising. We'll see what happens. These banks are mostly higher after Q2 earnings. You almost forget that JP Morgan bought FRC, right? Isn't that? Yeah, First Republic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't forget that they bought that. They became even bigger. Earnings are even better now. Citi is saying that earnings are good for them because of the credit card situation right now with rates being so high and people having balances. So banks are doing just fine. Don't worry about banks. Bank of Canada raised rates for 25 basis points this past time, and they're up to 5% for the first time since April of 2001. Microsoft, of course, had that big win this week against the FTC, although the situation, I think, is not quite over yet. We'll see how it ends up playing out. And then finally, for research, I like the OJ, How to Choose Poor Man cover called Distance to Expiration. Check that out. That's all I got.
And FRCB is quietly, for those who might still have it, gone from 30 cents to 70 cents over the last month or so. So it's caught a little bit of a bid, almost back to that dollar-ish number it was at when it, basically went bankrupt. So one of the few that have kind of rallied back a little bit. Anyway, good job out of you, my friend. We'll take a quick 90-second break and come back. We got more Tasty Live after this with the opening bell.